It's a heartwarming sight from a Borders rugby perspective to see two of our teams at numbers 1 and 2 in Scotland at the moment, and both Gala and Melrose scored the maximum number of points available as they beat Aberdeen and Edinburgh Accies respectively at Netherdale and the Greenyards. Gala wrapped up the bonus point after half an hour thanks to tries by George Graham, Peter Palapoi, Sean Law and Andy McLean, and strolled to a comfortable 27-5 lead at the break. The second half saw a mini revival from Aberdeen, but Gala held out to win 30-17. Reaction from Gala head coach George Graham.
I think we dominated every aspect of the game in the first half. We dominated the scrums, the lineouts, the breakdown, the defence, the attack. Everything we done was coming off, was working well. And I think if anything, it was too easy. It was too good. We were playing too well. I blame myself actually, because normally I go on at half time and I give the boys an absolute bollocking for what they're not doing right and what we need to do. And it seems to turn them around. But today I didn't. I'll take as much of the blame as what the players do, but I'm not very, very happy. But it's hard to be really unhappy when you've got a bonus point win after half an hour. And, as I keep saying, a fantastic team in Gala, screaming to get out, but when they just wrap it up again in the second half, it's very, very frustrating.
Meanwhile, Melrose chalked up 5 tries to 2 in their win over Edinburgh Accies, but once again it wasn't a vintage Melrose performance with a lot of errors and problems at the set piece. But despite that, they're in second place in the table, and when things do click into place, they'll cause real problems. As it was, skipper Graham Dodds scored 2 tries, his brother Alan got 1, and there was 1 each for Nick Bevan and Scott White. Here is Graham Dodds.
We're not anywhere near where the standards we were setting ourselves last year, and it's just really frustrating. We're making basic errors, and it'll come. We know it'll come, but it's just we keep saying it every week. If we cut out these basic errors, we'll win games comfortably, and we're not doing that. If we cut out these basic mistakes, we'll put these teams away.
You can see highlights of the game on Borders Rugby television right now at bordersrugby.net, and don't forget the biggest game in Scotland next week: Gala versus Melrose, first against second. That will be available to watch next Saturday night, as well as being featured on Radio Borders throughout the afternoon. Well, there are many who thought that Hawick would be trounced at Ayr, particularly after they'd conceded 62 points at home to Curry last weekend. But after a few harsh words during the week and some new faces included in the lineup, the Greens nearly did the unthinkable and win at Millbrae. Keith Davis scored Hawick's only try, which was converted by Gary Johnston, but 2 Neil Rennick penalties put them in front until Ayr snatched a late penalty to win 15-13. Hawick forward Michael Robertson.
The boys really had to have a shake-up after last week. I thought we played absolutely brilliant, and it was just one slip up with a penalty, and Ayr took the chance. So I'm hoping that with that good performance we can take it against Glasgow Hawks next week and hopefully get a win out of it.
Into Premier 2, and it's getting very nervy for both Jed Forest and Selkirk as they try and finish the first part of the season in the top 4 when the league split next Saturday. Jed did themselves no favours as they lost at Biggar 24-18. They scored 3 tries from Gregor Young, James Hogg and Darren Gillespie. That third consecutive defeat drops them down to 4th, but 1 point below them now are Selkirk, who won at Hillhead Jordan Hill 25-23. Darren Clapperton, Fraser Harkness and Ryan Crockett got their tries, but they've got the tricky task of taking on league leaders Stu Mell next week at Inverleith to go into the playoffs. There is a chance of both Jed and Selkirk going up, and mathematically Selkirk could even finish second in the table if results go their way. But just to be in with a shout still, pleased former Selkirk president Dennis Henderson.
It was great to win away from home, and it keeps us in the hunt for the top 4, and it's all to play for next week.
Kelso scored 30 points to 18 against West of Scotland at Pointer Park to jump up to 7th spot. Richard Minto and Stuart Lowry were the try scorers. Greg Ponton kicked 5 penalties and a conversion. Richard Minto gave his reaction.
First half was really tight. I think we found 9-3 at half time, and then we kind of really turned the pressure on them in the second half, and it paid dividends as we scored a couple of good tries. As I say, it was one of the hardest games we've had this season. Gives us a wee bit of momentum to go on for our final game next week, which we've got at home against Whitehead. So, hopefully it'll be a good win next weekend.
Peebles lost narrowly 24-22 at Hamilton, but scored 2 bonus points. Their 4 tries went to Neil Warnock, Neil Hogarth, Connor Blythe and Donald Anderson. In the first round of the RBS Shield, Hawick YM beat Duns on the road 18-3, while in the semi-finals of the Bowl, Gala YM defeated St Boswell's 41-10, and Hawick Quins beat Walkerburn comfortably 78-0. Well, for all the latest news, photos, videos and audio from Borders Rugby, go to bordersrugby.net, and don't forget you can watch highlights of Melrose versus Edinburgh Accies.